body's eyes do not perceive the light, but I am not a body, oh, what am I? Miracles are seen in light, oh, miracles are seen in light. Miracles are seen in light. The body's eyes do not perceive the light, but I'm not a body. What am I? Well, let's look at our lesson and find out today. I'm Forgiveness Willie, teaching forgiveness from the Ozarks. Here for lesson 91 in A Course in Miracles. We're reading from the Foundation for Inner Peace version this year. And this is for lesson April 1st, April Fool's Day. I've been fooled several times through the years on this day. I can think back about the time one of my, when my kids all got together and said that one of the kids was pregnant. And they made it seem, I thought, oh boy, what are we going to do here? And anyway, and they said, April Fools. Anyway, that's the fun of growing up in a family and all loving each other. I don't really recommend telling untruths, even if it is April Fool's, but might as well laugh about it when it happens. Okay, let's see. So Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. Let's see. Lesson 91. Miracles are seen in light. It is important to remember that miracles and vision necessarily go together. This needs repeating and frequent repeating. Well, if it needs repeating, I say it again. It is important to remember that miracles and vision necessarily go together. This needs repeating and frequent repeating. It is a central idea in your new thought system and the perception that it produces. The miracle is always there. Its presence is not caused by your vision. Its absence is not the result of your failure to see. It is only your awareness of miracles that is affected. You will see them in the light. You will not see them in the dark. The miracles are going on all the time, the way God is. God is love, and it's always going on. The unlimited, changeless power of love is the miracle. But we need light to see. And remember, our anger obliterates the light from us. That's why I want to be vigilant only for God and His kingdom. To you, then, light is crucial. While you remain in darkness, the miracle remains unseen. Thus you are convinced it is not there. This follows from the premise from which the darkness comes. Denial of light leads to failure to perceive it. Failure to perceive light is to perceive darkness. The light is useless to you then, even though it is there. You cannot use it because its presence is unknown to you. And the seeming reality of the darkness makes the idea of light meaningless. To be told that what you do not see is there sounds like insanity. It is very difficult to become convinced that it is insanity not to see what is there and to see what is not there instead. You do not doubt what the body's eyes can see. You do not doubt the images they show you are reality. Your faith lies in the darkness, not the light. How can this be reversed? For you it is impossible, but you are not alone in this. And I was thinking about what Jesus said about there in first few chapters of John. It's recorded that Jesus was saying, you don't see the wind, but you know it's there by its effects. Well, we want to learn to see the miracle. Maybe we can't see it with these eyes, but we can see it by its effects. And we can see that, and that's what, anyway, we want to learn to not go by these eyes as much as by the inner eye, the one that's connected to the all-knowing God, love. Your efforts, however little anyway, today's a real windy day, and I was thinking about that before we even started. I think, well, boy, today's a windy day, and I can't see the wind, but but I know it's here. I can see the branches moving. I can feel it against my skin. I can see the leaves moving. I can see the blades of all the plants blowing in the wind. So I know it's there even though I can't see it, but I can see it with another type of seeing. And Jesus used that as an example of seeing the unseen world, the kingdom of heaven. Your efforts, however little they may be, have strong support. Did you but realize how great this strength, your doubts would vanish. Today we will devote ourselves to the attempt to let you feel this strength. Today we will devote ourselves to the attempt to let you feel this strength. When you have felt the strength in you, which makes all miracles within your easy reach, you will not doubt. The miracles your sense of weakness hides will leap into awareness as you feel the strength in you. 3 times today, set aside about 10 minutes for a quiet time in which you try to leave your weakness behind. This is accomplished very simply as you instruct yourself that you are not a body. Faith goes to where you want, and you instruct your mind accordingly. Your will remains your teacher, and your will has all the strength to do what it desires. You can escape the body if you choose. You can experience the strength in you. Okay, so I'm not a body. Remember, that's what we start off our song today. The miracles are seen in light. The body's eyes do not perceive the light, but I'm not a body. What am I? You're all strength. He's going to develop that, and he wants you to think about that during your longer practice period. 3 times today for about 10 minutes. Begin the longer practice periods with this statement of true cause and effect relationships. Miracles are seen in light. The body's eyes do not perceive the light, but I'm not a body. What am I? The question with which this statement ends is needed for our exercises today. What you think you are is a belief to be undone. What you think you are is a belief that you're the body. Is a belief that needs to be undone. But what you really are must be revealed to you. The belief you are a body calls for correction, being a mistake. The truth of what you are calls on the strength in you to bring to your awareness what the mistake conceals, your true self, which is not a body. If you are not a body, what are you? You need to be aware of what the Holy Spirit uses to replace the image of a body in your mind. You need to feel something to put your faith in as you lift it from the body. You need a real experience of something else, something more solid and more sure, more worthy of your faith, and really there. So that's why we're going to take those 10 minutes to try to get a sense of our true self. It's not a body. The formless identity, one with God. In the East, they call it the Atman, or the Atman. The manifestation of your individual reality that's one with all. If you are not a body, what are you? Ask this in honesty, and then devote several minutes to allowing your mistaken thoughts about your attributes to be corrected and their opposites to take their place. Say, for example, I'm not weak but strong. I'm not helpless but all-powerful. I'm not limited but unlimited. I'm not doubtful but certain. I'm not an illusion but a reality. I cannot see in darkness but in light. In the second phase of the exercise period, try to experience these truths about yourself. Concentrate particularly on the experience of strength. I am not weak but strong. All these have to do with that. But he said, and you might even, like we did in the last 10 lessons, have the first 3 or 4 minutes. You could do the same thing if you want to, particularly if your mind wanders and you're trying to get a sense of these ideas. It's okay. Have your book open and kind of glance at them, and then go back into the silence with your eyes closed and try to experience these things. I'm not weak but strong. I'm not helpless but all-powerful. I'm not limited but unlimited. I'm not doubtful but certain. I'm not an illusion but a reality. I cannot see in darkness but in light. In the second phase of the exercise period, try to experience these truths about yourself. Concentrate particularly on the experience of strength. Remember that all sense of weakness is associated with the belief you are a body, a belief that is mistaken and deserves no faith. You're not a body. Try to remove your faith from it, if only for a moment. You will be accustomed to keeping faith with the more worthy in you as we go along. Relax for the rest of the practice period, confident that your efforts, however meager, are fully supported by the strength of God and all His thoughts. It is from them that your strength will come, not from your doing it, just from the willingness. It is through their strong support that you will feel the strength in you. They are united with you in this practice period, in which you share a purpose like their own. The thoughts of God are with you in this practice period. Theirs is the light in which you will see miracles, because their strength is yours. God's thoughts are yours. Their strength becomes your eyes that you may see. 5 or 6 times an hour at reasonably regular intervals, remind yourself that miracles are seen in light. Also be sure to meet temptation with today's idea. Miracles are seen in light. This form would be helpful for this special purpose. If you're tempted, you can say, miracles are seen in light. Let me not close my eyes because of this. Okay, now let's go take a look in our text reading for today. And we're still in chapter 11, God or the Ego, Roman numeral 4, the inheritance of God's Son. Never forget that the sonship is your salvation, for the sonship is yourself. As God's creation, it is yours, and belonging to you, it is His. Yourself does not need salvation, but your mind needs to learn what salvation is. You are not saved from anything, but you are saved for glory. Glory is your inheritance, given you by your Creator that you might extend it. Yet if you hate part of yourself, how do you hate part of yourself? Well, one obvious way that He's trying to get us to see is that you seem to be a body and separate from someone else. But He's trying to get us to see that when you hate your brothers and sisters, that you actually are hating yourself. Okay, so that's what He said. Glory is your inheritance given you by your Creator that you might extend it. Yet if you hate part of yourself, all your understanding is lost, because you are looking on what God created as yourself without love. And since what He created is part of Him, you are denying Him His place in His own altar, in your brothers and sisters. Could you try to make God homeless and know that you are at home? Can the Son deny the Father without believing that the Father has denied Him? God's laws hold only for your protection, and they never hold in vain. What you experience when you deny your Father is still for your protection, for the power of your will cannot be lessened without the intervention of God against it. And any limitation on your power is not the will of God. Therefore, look only to the power that God gave to save you, remembering that it is yours because it is His. And join with your brothers in His peace. Your peace lies in its limitlessness. Limit the peace you share, and yourself must be unknown to you. So we want your peace to extend to your brothers and sisters, the part of yourself that awakens you to your reality as not a body. Miracles are seen in light. Your peace lies in its limitlessness. Limit the peace you share, and yourself must be unknown to you. Every altar, every brother and sister, every altar to God is part of you, because the light He created is one with Him. Would you cut off a brother from the light that is yours? You would not do so if you realize that you can darken only your own mind. As you bring him back, so will you return. That is the law of God for the protection of the wholeness of the sun. Not just your individual part that ends with your skin, but the part of you that includes everyone, the body of Christ, as it talked about in the Bible. Only you can deprive yourself of anything. That's paragraph 4. Only you can deprive yourself of anything. Do not oppose this realization, for it is truly the beginning of the dawn of light. Wow, do not oppose this realization, for it is the beginning, truly the beginning of the dawn of light. And what is it? Only you can deprive yourself of anything. Wow, our choices are powerful. Let's see ourselves and our brothers and sisters so we don't deprive ourselves of the riches of God's love, His vision, the vision of Christ. Miracles are seen in light. Let's not deprive ourselves of light by not seeing ourselves as holy in God and worthy. Only you can deprive yourself of anything. Do not oppose this realization, for it is truly the beginning of the dawn of light. Remember also that the denial of this simple fact takes many forms, and these you must learn to recognize and to oppose steadfastly without exception. This is a crucial step in the reawakening. No exceptions. And look for every little form where you are where you're not accepting God in your brothers and sisters. This is a crucial step in the reawakening. The beginning phases of this reversal are often quite painful, for as blame is withdrawn from without, there is a strong tendency to harbor it within. It is difficult at first to realize that this is exactly the same thing, for there is no distinction between within and without. So you're learning not to blame your brothers and sisters, but then you blame yourself for blaming your brothers and sisters. We don't want to do that either. Paragraph 5. If your brothers are part of you and you blame them for your deprivation, you're blaming yourself. And you cannot blame yourself without blaming them. That is why blame must be undone, not seen elsewhere. Lay it to yourself and you cannot know yourself, for only the ego blames it all. Self-blame is therefore ego identification and as much an ego defense as blaming others. You cannot enter God's presence if you attack His Son. When His Son lifts His voice in praise of His Creator, He will hear the voice of His Father. Again, you cannot enter God's presence if you attack His Son. We've got to lay attack aside. Blame is a form of attack. You got to see God in Him. No attack. That obliterates the awareness of God. It makes it seem like we live in a dark world. Self-blame is therefore ego identification and as much an ego defense as blaming others. You cannot enter God's presence if you attack His Son. When His Son lifts His voice in praise of His Creator, He will hear the voice of His Father. Yet the Creator cannot be praised without His Son, for their glory is shared and they are glorified together. Paragraph 6. Christ is at God's altar waiting to welcome His Son. But come wholly without condemnation, for otherwise you will believe that the door is barred and you cannot enter. The door is not barred, and it is impossible that you cannot enter the place where God would have you be. But love yourself with the love of Christ, for so does your Father love you. You can refuse to enter, but you cannot bar the door that Christ holds open. Come unto me who hold it open for you. For while I live, it cannot be shut, and I live forever. God is my life and yours, and nothing is denied by God to His Son. Isn't that sweet? Paragraph 7. At God's altar, Christ waits for the restoration of Himself in you. God knows His Son is wholly blameless as Himself, and He is approached through the appreciation of His Son. Christ waits for your acceptance of Him as yourself and of his wholeness as yours. You got to see yourself in your brothers and sisters, the one Son of God. For Christ is the Son of God who lives in his Creator and shines with his glory. Christ is the extension of the love and the loveliness of God, as perfect as his Creator and at peace with him. And the last paragraph, 8. So God shines when we can learn to see see God in our brothers and sisters. Love them like you want to love God. You got to love your brothers and sisters whom you can see with these eyes, in order to be able to see with the eye that can see in the dark. Miracles are seen in light. The last paragraph, 8. Blessed is the Son of God whose radiance is of his Father, and whose glory he wills to share as his Father shares it with him. There is no condemnation in the Son, for there is no condemnation in the Father. Sharing the perfect love of the Father, the Son must share what belongs to him, for otherwise he will not know the Father or the Son. Peace be unto you who rest in God, and in whom the whole sonship rests, the one self which doesn't end at my skin or yours. Okay, let's see. What's going on around the world today. Like I said, it's April 1st, April Fool's Day. Lent continues. It's the Assyrian New Year, so we'll use for our word Aramaic, which is the Assyrian people, Aramaic, Armenians. And the word is shlamaa for peace. They originated in the Tigris and Euphrates rivers of what, the Fertile Crescent, as it was called, in Mesopotamia. That area, Iran, Iraq, Syria, is that whole area is the Aramaic speaking people with the original language. There's other languages now, Arabic and others. But anyway, the word for in Armenia or Aramaic is shlamaa. Shlamaa be with you, for peace. So, Assyrian New Year. Fossil Fuels Day. Let's learn to limit our fossil fuels. Atheist Day. You know what? I have a special place in my heart for the people that consider themselves an atheist, because I think that they're a little misdirected to not think that there's a prime mover, a creator, a source. But a lot of atheists actually believe that, but they just don't know what they believe, and they're trying to say, I don't believe in an anthropomorphic God, which is a God that's in the image of man, which I think they're probably pretty accurate in that. So let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's recognize that you don't have to believe in God in order to serve God and love God. You just got to love your neighbor as yourself, and you'll automatically be loving God, we're learning. Don't attack. Jump in Muddy Puddles Day, a fun day. Love for Our Children Day, 1 Cent Day, SAAM Day of Action, that's the Sexual Assault Awareness Month's Day of Action, Sourdough Bread Day, Trombone Day, Poetry and Creative Mind Play. And I always think, of Course in Miracles is really a poetic work and certainly a mind play work, and we appreciate it. Reading is Funny Day, and it certainly can be. It can be also very enlightening and fun. In San Francisco today, we have the Saint Stupid Day Parade and Fun at Work Day. You should always be passionate about what you're doing. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might, says Solomon in Proverbs. And then out of Seed Savers Exchange, we've got the Early Scarlet Globe. And I lost my, oh boy, am I going to be able to find this quick? Let's see if we can find radishes. They're on page 92. So let's look on 92. I usually have a paperclip, but it fell off. Early Scarlet Globe radishes. They're a Raphanus sativus. Raphanus sativus. Early Scarlet Globe, the round, bright red 1-inch globe of this iconic variety, are perhaps the most commonly seen radishes in home or market gardens. The dependable variety can be planted in the spring or fall and is both easy to grow and quick to mature. 20 to 28 days. Can you imagine that? I'm already eating some radishes out of my garden. They're not really, they haven't formed the bulbs yet, but you can eat the tops of radishes. And I kind of like, I put a little in your salad, but anyway. So, early scarlet globe radishes. So hopefully you've got some radishes planted this year. Okay, miracles are seen in light. And if you have some temptation to attack a brother today in your mind or avoid them, not love them, tell yourself, let me not close my eyes because of this. Miracles are seen in light. Miracles are seen in light. The body's eyes do not perceive the light. But I am not a body, oh, what am I? I am not weak, but strong, but strong. I am not helpless, but all powerful. I am not limited, but unlimited. I am not doubtful, but certain. I am not an illusion, but a reality. I cannot see in darkness, but in the light. Miracles are seen in light. Miracles are seen in light. And if tempted, say, let me not close my eyes because of this. Miracles are seen in light. Oh, miracles are seen in light. Miracles are seen in light. Miracles are seen in light. And when you're meditating today, taking those 3 10-minute periods, and all your about every 10 minutes today, tell yourself miracles are seen in light. Be sure if you're tempted, but I was going to say, in those 10 minutes and in these shorter periods, be looking for something that is more real than the body. The Holy Spirit will help show it to you. That's why I like to show you, why I like to watch those near-death experiences. It kind of helps you to see that, oh yeah, you can see yourself from outside the body after you die. I'm not a body. I'm just as conscious as I was when I was in my body, but I'm not in it now. Okay, so miracles are seen in light. Oh, miracles are seen in light. The body's eyes do not perceive the light. But I am not a body. What am I? Miracles are seen in light. Oh, miracles are seen in light. And if you're tempted today, tell yourself, let me not close my eyes because of this. Miracles are seen in light. Shlamaa.